And we're live. Here, it's just me. Let's see. Really don't believe I've got 5 viewers. Alright, so last time I was working on this really cool Black Tiger in Chanel sculpt by the brilliant MZM, who's on ArtStation, and got pretty far. Did all the basic block out, some muscle sculpting, and some details on the face. Then retopoed, well, Z-remeshed and combined everything. Yeah, so the idea now is that I've done a little bit of work offline, fixed up some of the topology, increased the density, did some work on the muscles, and I would probably focus on doing the face. Then after that I'll do like the armor and fix some of the other problems. That's what I'm gonna focus on. I think it looks pretty good. If you look at this, I've got this in the ZBrush modeling clay material. If you use dynamic, it looks a bit smoother. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to work on now, even though I've got nobody in chat, which is fine. Didn't need you anyway. Alright, so my face is pretty far along. Needs some work though. His little beard, eyes, obviously in desperate need of a lot of detail. Let me see. So probably gonna have to change some settings. A little bit too sensitive. You can see this guy's got pretty angry looking eyes. He's not very big eyes either. He does need something kind of like a cheekbone. Not exactly, but just something like that. And one of the things you can do is use a pinch brush on subtract mode. Use that to like draw in the eyebrows. I may have to add more resolution as well. There's a few options. I could use Sculptress Pro mode, and that would technically give me more detail in like specific areas where I'm working. But one of the reasons I don't like that is because it just adds an enormous amount of geometry. Just because, you know, just it tries to help you out, but then you end up with super huge amount of detail. So I don't know if I want to do that or not. I could try that and see how it goes, but then I'd need to go back if it didn't really work very well. So let's see, well, the resolution right now is it's not too bad. That's after I applied dynamic. So if I applied dynamic again, then I would get like a reasonable amount of detail. So I use pinch, and then on subtract T. Now I can draw out this curve, like this kind of ridge for his eyebrow. Not that he technically doesn't like have an eyebrow. There's some painting on there that looks kind of like an eyebrow, but that's about it. Alright, just undo this and redraw it, because I wasn't really happy with that. Sometimes I'll just redraw these things a couple times so I can get what I want. Then I can do stuff like I can just do this on the nose, make that nice and sharp. Maybe even on the ridge there a little bit, so you get like the ridge in the nose that connects up the eyes. And it kind of changes direction as well. And then you go like on the nose. Yep. Hey, Major Fluffy Bacon, how you going? Yeah, lucky first viewer for the day. So I'm just working on the nose and the facial features, trying to get it looking good. And then there's probably like a little hook around the nose on the side here to give it the actual shape. Let me smooth this out a little bit. Then we even have a little curve here as well, which is just like the split where the cat features happen. Some definition here. Topology's a bit icky, but whatever. It's probably a bit high poly. So the question is whether or not I should retopologize this again using ZBrush so that it's not like insanely high polygon, so that it runs reasonably fast. I'll probably draw in some more lines before I do that. Well, I'm not actually looking at any like a real tiger picture. I'm just using that one from the what do you call it? You know, from the ArtStation guys' artwork. But I may very well get a real tiger out at some point if I feel like I need some direction on things that I can't see in the reference. But for now, I think it's okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of an angular thing going on as well. It's like kind of figure out exactly, kind of change, yeah, like that, like it's kind of angled. It's like, and change the direction. Well, yeah, so that's something I'm still trying to figure out, like what to do, because to sculpt in certain levels of detail, you need to have a certain amount of polygons, right? But for instance, the head needs like a significant amount more detail than the body. And when you retopologize it, it might, like once I've drawn in enough of these lines, I might be able to keep the detail in the head and then like reduce the detail in the rest of the body while lowering the overall polygon count. So I'm trying to figure out exactly how to do that. I could use this thing called Sculptress Pro mode, which is this little button, but that will add like an insane amount of polygons wherever I paint. So I don't know if I want to do that. So I'm still trying to figure out what the best thing to do is, and I don't know yet. I think it's something you just sort of learn over time, when you just have enough experience. And one of the things you can do as well, you can separate things. So for instance, if I really wanted to, I could make the head a separate object. Yeah, you can. So right now, like if you have a look at the polygons, you can see they're quite small. And I can actually reduce the subdiv levels. Like I actually do have what's called dynamic subdivisions. So, but usually you end up getting rid of those and retopologizing, just because there's certain things you can't do when you've got them turned on. Like the ZBrush will just like tell you can't do it, which is slightly annoying. It's like you can't change the overall topology at all, so you can't remove bits of it. You can't draw on top of it using the topology tool. So you basically can't add any geometry, which is fine because you can do other things. You can. That's looks more like a dog jowl. I'm just trying to inflate this a little bit to give it a bit more volume. So you know, it's got its downsides, but I'll keep it for the moment because it gives me the option of going to a lower topology if I really want to. Also, like I mentioned yesterday, I'm not really. Definitely no ZBrush expert. I'm really new at this, so I'll definitely get a lot of things wrong. Hello, how's it going? I'm not alone. Well, I had made you fluffy, so how's it going? I saw your He-Man. He looks very He-Man-ish. Definitely got the He-Man muscles. I like how it's a. I like the whatever that is. That the emoji. I like it, but I don't know what it is. I'm actually thinking like, how does his mouth actually attach? Is that too long? It might be a bit too long. It's like, maybe it should go up more. Think about the actual shape of its mouth. Bloodlust. Yeah, I'm not very sure how this should work from the side. I'll figure it out eventually, I'm sure. And then I can actually do some detail on the beard as well if I wanted to. Probably using the cloth tool. Just be like, look at that. Do like little strands of stuff. And put some like creases or details in there. I can always smooth this out and do it again. Because I'm not really doing it that well. Probably like that maybe? I don't know. It's an orc one. Orc. Gotta love his orcs. There's actually like probably no reason to do the beard yet. That's like a last minute detail, but whatever. And I mean, he doesn't really show it, but he's obviously got like lips that come out. That probably follow around this border, which I could probably get with a detail brush. Yeah, something like that. So how do you make it look like fur if everything's smooth? There's like a texture thing. Well, I'm still figuring it out, but it's basically just like an insane number of polygons, and you just it's kind of like you're layering chunky bits of plasticine fur, and you have overhangs. You can use a thing called a snake hook. And then what you would normally probably do is you would keep overall chunky details, and then when you retopologize and export this to a game engine, you would use normal maps to kind of simulate like or fake the yeah, I would insert more blobs. Yeah, probably. You could make them out of actual bits of geometry and then combine them later. So probably get away with just painting the beard, but yeah, for these tufts on the side, might be helpful to actually sculpt the little things. Yeah, pinch everything. Pinch is life. I'll have to experiment with it honestly because I haven't done that before. I haven't like properly done stylized chunky fur. I have an idea of what I think it should look like, but actually doing it is another like kettle of fish. But I think I was going to show Corner how to do some lighting in Blender, so I'm going to do that. I'll just OCD this into a file just in case I crash it somehow. So I'll show you how I did the shiver. So you know how to light, but do you just want to like, because I said you were saying before it's just hard. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't want to patronize you. Like, if you already know what you're doing, I don't need to show you anything. I just thought it might be helpful because Blender, you don't have to worry about ZBrush's crazy bullshit. And it's like if you set it up, you can basically set it up the same as Keyshot, as far as I can tell, like with the environment map and it's just like not convenient, I guess. But you specifically getting in the polypaint was what you were talking about, right? You couldn't get polypaint into Modo. And so this might be helpful. So I couldn't get polypaint into Blender. So like I had, let's see, yeah, I tried exporting as FBX and it didn't work for me either. But there's this thing called Mesh Lab, and I used PLA instead. No, so PLY format. Because apparently what happens is the let's see, oh wait, wrong version of Blender. It's not going to work. I found a thing called Mesh Lab, you might have seen before, which all it does is just import and export 3D models, and it knows how to import a OBJ from let's see, from ZBrush. So if I grab I think it was this one, this merge, you can tell it's ZBrush because it's got like a capital OBJ extension. It took a little while to load because it's just big, but yeah, like ZBrush has like a non-standard hack in the OBJ format to store vertex colors. So there's this shiver, and this is just the geometry and the vertex colors. And maybe it'll work for you in Modo, but like I just exported it as a PLY file. And then so I did colors and normals. And then, yeah, it bugs me, but if you're hiding extensions, you won't see it. Anyway, so I did that, and then I imported it into Blender using the import PLY thing. So it's in here somewhere. Yeah, Stanford format. And then there's like a whole node-based thing in Blender as well. But I grabbed a HDR thing from a website. Yeah, that's free. So I'll find the link for it, and then I'll post it. Let's see. So Mesh Lab. It's actually hasn't been updated in a while, but I think it's just like because it doesn't need to be. Yeah, here we go. Mesh Lab 2016. So that might help anyway with various formats that you might want to use. There we go. So that's what I use because I was like really having trouble getting ZBrush doing what I wanted to, and it was like it wasn't exporting, or maybe Blender wasn't importing, And then once I had it in here, and the HDR probe, and then you can set up like a shadow. What do we call it? Shadow catcher. And I'm pretty sure this is like pretty much like the same setup that that Keyshot has. It's got a couple of area lights and a ground plane that accepts shadows, and an environment map that you can turn up the strength on or off. And if you can in like the rendering settings, you can change whether or not you're rendering a transparent or not. So if I take this off, like it shows the HDR probe in the background, which I think there's something like that in Keyshot as well. It's never going to be as nice as Keyshot because that's just like this one button workflow, but for people who want to not have to pay $600 or whatever. This is like a decent alternative. You can also render it in real time with the Eevee renderer, get like an okay idea of what it's going to look like. Yeah, so anyway, that might help you with Modo as well, I suppose, the Mesh Lab thing. But I found that online somewhere, someone mentioned it. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking in Australian dollars. So, you know, I have to pay like 30% extra for everything. Anyway, so I guess we'll go back to this tiger. It's great. Yeah, so that's his nostrils. Probably move this in a bit. Smooth it out a little. I could probably separate this, and then it would be more of its own thing. Yeah, I would still decimate the shit out of it, because I don't want to deal with it. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, if you're using vertex colors, you can't decimate it too much. You'll lose the... Yeah, really, I mean, I didn't seem to get that, but then I haven't tried many models. So if I run into that, I'll definitely have to figure out a way around it. The weird faceting thing as well, you can deal with, depending on whether or not you're setting your object to smooth. If I use matte cap, go like really close, you can see you can see these polygons. Yeah, that's probably fine. I mean, if you do any UVing, it wouldn't matter anyway. If I click on this and I think set smooth. Why is that not coming up? Set smooth. Shade smooth, that's the one. Yeah, so if you use shade smooth, then all the little polygons end up being smooth. I mean, to a degree. Some of these are separate objects, so that won't change for those unless I click on them. Yeah, I didn't actually set some of these to smooth when I probably should have, or subdivided them. When I exported it, some of them weren't the right resolution. You can't really see it in the render though. Yeah, that's cool. It's like there's a million ways to do things anyway, especially with 3D programs. There's no like one way, which is good, right? Because it gives you lots of options. You don't want to just be stuck with a single particular way of doing things. Pinch. He's an unhappy tiger man because life hasn't been very good to him. Being a tiger man, no one trusts him. It looks pretty good so far. So I'll probably just use, can either use pinch or detail, and then like put in some eye sockets, or eyelids, I should say. Just be like, Eye of the Tiger. I should totally be playing Eye of the Tiger right now. Yeah, I'll do that. Let's see. I know I've got this song lying around somewhere. Let's see. He looks a bit like Tai Long. Definitely looks a bit like it. Let's see, turn on the Turn on some desktop audio. I don't know how loud this is going to be, so we'll just see. So it go in the background. There's only so many polygons I've got on the face, and when I want to make certain shapes, I can only make shapes that are as small as those polygons are. And so there's like various ways you can increase the amount you've got to work with, but then if you're just subdividing the model, you're increasing the polygon count everywhere, and you don't need it everywhere. And like, so if I turn on like Sculptress Pro, right? I'll just show you. Like, it'll add geometry for me. Oh, it won't let me because I've got multiple subdivision levels, but it would add geometry for me where I'm painting. And then that would make it like easier to paint in those details. But then, yeah, like then I would have to deal with more polygons. So I don't know. I don't want to just subdivide it again because it's already pretty high res. And I could probably get away with this. I'm just complaining. It's probably going to be fine. If I turn on dynamic, like I can see the detail a bit better. But it does run a little bit slower. Yeah, it's not going to even run that at a decent frame rate, so I'll just turn that off. And Corner will probably tell me to just de-remesh it or something at a higher res. Or just stop complaining. I could. I think my computer's pretty fast already though. I don't know if I'll get like it'll solve my problem. I think it's more of the way I'm using it is more of a problem than the actual like the program getting too slow. If that makes sense. Like you can see the topology here is not so the direction the polygons are going is the wrong direction. So it's trying to get me details in ways that what we want is rings around these eyes, so that I can like that the shape of the polygons follows the actual shape of the model. So when I started sculpting the eyes, like what I should be doing is something that I'm not really comfortable or good at yet, which is basically painting in new polygroups in the right spots so that it creates a thing called a like eye mask, where you have the topology running between the eyes and around the eyes and up over the nose, and that the lines are in the shape of the actual thing. That's true actually. Practice it now. But I don't know what I'm doing. That's like, I'll just sit here for the next 20 minutes watching another tutorial by Shane. Fine. Alright. I'm going to quickly skim over the video. Try and remember how to do it. Because I remember there's a thing for it. Let's see. Might be in... Where is it? Character block out. No, that's not it. I'm in the wrong section. Oh yeah, here we go. ZBrush pipeline. That's what I was looking for. Oh, okay. That sounds easier than I thought. Actually, I remember Control W. Yeah, and I'll have to freeze the level as well. Let's see, I probably just paint it on. Do it! Do it now! Come on! She's like a panda. Let me see. Alright, so... yeah, so you got like that, and then I like Control W, like that. It's like some stray polygons. How come that did that? That's not what I wanted. Maybe I had to do it the other way around. Yeah, that's right. I keep thinking I have to invert it. It's okay if it's messy. Alright, that's cool. Let me see, so even the nose as well. I like the nose. The nose like underneath as well, maybe. Apparently there's like a ring. I don't know if this really counts for a tiger. Make sure you get in the eye sockets, yeah, like so if in case like I've missed a spot. Is that what you mean? Or should I do a separate group for inside the eyes? Is that like, because I didn't think you needed to, I could be wrong. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at some example topology. Just like that, maybe. Yeah, you're right. So those eyelids are pesky little buggers. It's in my contract. Okay. Let's see. Alright, and then I could probably... maybe I could do like a separate one for the lips. Actually, that's already, is that already in its own? Yeah, it's not in its own one. Alright, so just go maybe in there. Give that some loops. It's like makeup. It's like, what's going on with that? My makeup. And I saw one, I don't know if this makes any sense, but I can't, how do I do that again? You combine two, what do you call it? Two polygroups. I don't think I need to though, maybe. Like, I could do one here, like around the node, like from here, around the side. I don't know if this makes any sense, because I'm looking at like the topology layout that someone's already done for a human face, and like, they have one like this. Does this make any sense to do on a tiger? I'm just like, does it? I don't know. I reckon it'll be alright without it. I can try it with and without that one, and I reckon that'll be fine. Yeah, you're probably right. Well, I mean, the rest of the body seems okay. There's some wobbles around the place, but I manually reassigned some groups there so that it would get rid of them next time I ZRemesh. I would do the nose and the nostrils too. It might be easier to make that separate. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I don't know because, like, it's not like the dog. The dog has a very specific separation between the nose and the head, but in this one, the flat of the top of the nose is continuous. There's no separation. What I could potentially do, let's see, I could potentially, like you said, maybe put another group on the very edge. But it might easily separate. It is a different material. The front is. The front's definitely a separate material. But I don't know, like on the top, where does it stop? Well, yeah, I mean, that's true. I just don't know, like, it's like there's, if it is separate, it's like very thin on the front, and it's still there on the top, so I'd have to like chop it off like right there. So yeah, probably, I mean, I probably should do that. You're probably right. Yeah, I could slice it off. Look at you, backseat modeling. I don't mind though. Like that, almost. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. I probably need to keep a bit of it so that I can actually, like that. You could probably group just that. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Let's do Control W. Hey. I mean, give me enough detail at least. I can think about it later. Alright. Now this sucker's going to need a fair bit of... Well, he doesn't actually need a huge amount of detail. But I kind of want to. We'll see though. We'll see what happens. I'll delete lower. And then I'll ZRemesh it, see what happens. You know what? I should have saved it or duplicated it. You know, that's not half bad. Yeah, that might actually be easy, an easier thing to do than a lot of the stuff I've been doing. I could probably keep. Yeah, I might actually do that. Question is where to chop his head. Just grab the original image. Yeah, it sounds a bit like scary. It's like, what should I detach today? I'd probably do it at the clavicle, to be honest. That seems to be where the where it is. So then, I mean, you would probably duplicate it. Be like, all right, this is the one with the head. That one's the one without the head. Or I could separate hidden. Then I would end up with a giant hole. I could fill the hole though. So use trim cut, I can just literally cut it. Be like, no head for you, buddy. Oh, god damn it. You can't do this because you've got subdivisions. Shape divisions. Alright, just like hide the other subtool. Yep, this is the one. Let's be like, chop it up. Chop away. Slice. Oh, look, his head's gone. Then we go to our other guy. We go geometry and delete lower, and then we go the other way. And just like do the same thing. It's a bit messy. Oh, what did they do to you? Yeah, that's fine. I love this like soup of polygons underneath. Suppose I can, once I re-topo it a bit, it'll be alright. Yeah, so now I can show both of the tools, and you'll see like the gap. And then I'll have to hide that. And then I'll probably very good idea to topologize both of them. Has he got two heads? No, that's the wrong guy. Oh no. What's that? That's fine. Mask. What are we gonna do with you? That's better. And then I'll remesh this thing. Let's see what happens if I do 10. Might be a bit high. That's not too bad. Let's see, what do you? Oh yeah, see that? See, this is what I was talking about. I don't know if you're still there, Major Fluffy. But you can see now that there's more like the density, but most importantly, the direction of the loops is in the right direction. I might actually do this with more because I want more detail. Yeah, that's probably alright. So, and now this is a bit easier to work with. I'll have to clean up some of this. But it's a bit easier to work with because there's more geometry, but it's also the geometry is just in a nicer loops. And so when I make changes to those areas, it won't look as like, it'll look a bit more, a bit nicer. It'll just like, it'll flow. Yeah, which is what we want. There's a few things here and there I'll just have to adjust. Some of the edge, like some of the topology is a bit balked, but whatever. Like here, you can see these. It's what people I've been talking to recently have been calling warbles, I think. Is that right? It's like where you get these kind of connections where you've got a quad which is connected to two other quads by a corner, and that's like the change of direction of the geometry. Is this symmetric? Should be. And that just divots and bumps, yeah. And you generally put those in like corners of the, yeah, where you have like specific changes in direction of the model's underlying topology. But now I can probably put in some of the details I've been wanting to. You can see like now there's more opportunities to do certain things. Just fix some of this. He's kind of got some proper lips now as well, thanks to the changes in the topology. Yeah, so it's still a bit low on that area, but it's not so bad because it's not as important. Might just smooth out some of this, and then I can then like inflate the lips. Like I draw a line in again, and then kind of inflate it around the edges. Put the intensity up a bit. No, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. You have to adjust like the brush sensitivity as well, and when you're working on different densities. Just how it works, I guess. Yeah, poles and diamonds. They're just, it's just a fact, like, of how 3D models work. They're not magic, you know. If you've got a limited number of polygons, you're going to get certain artifacts, which is fine. It's just like how you deal with them, and it's important for animation as well. So like having good clean topology allows it to deform. So you know when you're bending things, otherwise it doesn't work as well. And like when you bend stuff, you get like ugly wrinkles, which the animators will complain about most likely. Like assuming that you're modeling it and then someone else is animating it. If you're animating it yourself, then you've only got yourself to blame. Yeah, it's looking okay. Still, I think I'm still in the valley of suck, at least in my opinion. No, if I want his lips to stick out a bit, just be like a little bit of volume there. And I'll probably like chop off that beard at some point and then make it its own object. And I may or may not chop off the nose and make it its own object. I don't know yet. Probably want to use pinch. Pinchy. Is there like a... There's like a lobster in The Simpsons called Pinchy, I think. I could probably use reverse pinch on... No, that didn't work. This is another spot where it's like not enough geometry. Why did I not fix it? I must have like not colored that properly. Maybe I should have put like an extra one in the middle. And just say like, please give me more geometry right there. And then there's like this stray group just like right here for some bizarre reason. I might be able to fix it. I'm just kind of sick of redoing, re-Z-meshing all the time and then like having to redo the details. But I'm sure that's like 100% what I should be doing anyway. I like revisit that area. Maybe detail brush would work better. Just be like, yeah, see, put that detail in. Pinch like your life depends on it. It goes like this, kind of goes up into the nose, or up past the nose, and around the corner. Yeah, that's better. So we gotta figure that stuff out. It's kind of a bit of a dodgy spot. It might be that I should just cut it off, make it separate, because that might actually fix some of those problems. But you know, I'm too lazy. I'm starting to really dig the nose though. The nose is coming out great. Coming out. It's a great nose. Some rhinoplasty. I will save this document before ZBrush decides to crash it. Then I can start doing maybe some more eye details. So you can just like negative pinch, and what that'll do is kind of raise up some eyelid skin. Then you go underneath with a regular pinch. You can just like define the eyelids. Get this nice shape. Because we've retopologized it in a sane way, you get this nice, see how it's just like flowing in? It's not like where it was before, where it was, I made it smaller. It was kind of, yeah, like lumpy, and it's not actually that many more polygons, they're just more sensibly placed in the right spot, which is good. So, you know, as I do this, in this like cool shape, making it a little bit more like we want it to be. Let's do that one more time. Let's try and get the right shape. So now we've got more of what should be there. And I'll just kind of like get this socket a bit better. Stick it out a little more, smooth it. So now we've got some eyes. Like he's actually got eye sockets now. They actually look like real eye sockets. And he's got a defined nose, he's got lips. Got a lot of the features that we're going to want to have on this guy. And now I'm going to actually do some poly painting just to get a better idea of what he's going to look like. So what I can do is turn on Spotlight, And if it's like this handy thing, you just like press C and you just get the what do you call it? The color from the spotlight texture. So you just like fill it, and then you got the color, and then you can use this soft paint and maybe like grab another color and start painting it in. What am I doing wrong here? That's definitely the... Actually, you know what? Poly painting might not be a great idea yet because I don't actually have enough, what do you call it? Geometry to paint in. This is another thing you use small polygons for, which is painting. So you can paint stuff. So probably not a great idea because I don't have anywhere near enough resolution for it. But I get an idea of what it's going to look like, and just like make it a bit more detailed later on. So it's going to be like white around the edges. And it's like, you used to see it, I mean, I used to see a lot of people doing stuff where they would use the terracotta or like the other matte cap shaders to draw out their like to do like renders of their models, or just to show off the models. But I think it's kind of not in style anymore, just because it's been done to death. So people prefer to see proper, like either poly painted or fully textured stuff these days. So it's like paint all this in, and then maybe like paint in the black lips, blackish lips. Maybe go for like a darker shade for this. And what all this is doing is just, it's like coloring the polygons, so it doesn't actually, there's no texture, which just means that you're limited by how many polygons you've got. So if you don't have many, then you can't do as much detail. And like Corner said before, you know, you want to, if it's a different material, it should be a different subtool, which means that, you know, like the eyes, the head, the body, the nose, armor, pieces of armor, even that, like if it's like a, you know, one thing's a metal, the other thing's fur, the other thing's skin, you would have different groups for it, different separate subtools, which will be essentially just there so that you can manage everything properly and give it different materials so it'll render differently, and then transform and sculpt and stuff separately. Yeah, so that's, I mean, need more geometry to actually do more the painting properly, but yeah, it seems to be alright so far. I get the body here, so you can just like this. Yeah, I don't know. I might redo the paint later and just like clear it for now. It's kind of bugging me. So go back to white. Well, that's not working. Oh, that's not working. There's definitely something going on. Does this have spotlight projection on? No. It's not letting me clear, like it's got like some opacity thing going on. Maybe it's the lazy mouse thing. No, I didn't turn that on. Yeah, it's like painting with very little opacity. Maybe it's that RGB intensity. Yeah, maybe that was it. I was getting heaps of problems with that. Oh well, whatever. No wonder the painting was taking forever. Just another thing I didn't know. Just do this again. There's like an indent in his. Actually, there's. I think tigers have an indent there, but this guy doesn't. It's because he's special. So the other thing we can do here, I think there are a little few issues with the topology, but I think overall it's not bad. Yeah, so you can see we've got the overall shape. Profile looks alright, at least for now. So there's a little chubby, whiskery area. Probably the only thing is like it sticks out in the concept art, like around here. So we can just give that a bit more definition. And then that kind of leads out into this area here. So you can see in this, like the 3/4 view, he actually has like this fur that comes out. You can kind of snake hook it. Snake hook just like is a really extreme pull or move brush. There's two ways I could do it. I could just pull it out and muck around with it, or I could try to build out the geometry with separate objects and then like combine it all. I'm not sure what I want to do. So it looks like it's not super dense. I could probably get away with it a little bit. Oh, excuse me. It definitely has like layers. Yeah, definitely looking a bit like a bit weird doing it this way. What I could, yeah, I could use a bunch of separate things. So give that a try too, see if it looks interesting. So then I can do stuff like just like push it in a little bit and then flatten it out. And it kind of goes like this direction. And then I can just like, I can stretch it out a little bit. Pull it out a little bit, I don't know. It'll all get combined in the end, but the important thing is to try and make it look decent. And then, I mean, one of the other things you can do as well, I suppose, is like control and then essentially use the same thing a few different times. Maybe like rotate it a little bit and move it out. So pull it. And then use like a small brrr. Be careful with that P button. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea to do it separate. I guess I get a little bit more control. I think the other one was thinner. Let's see. See, I can't actually grab it separately now because it's the same. Because I copied it was the same subgroup. So what I can do is, let's see. You can say order groups, and then oh wait, no, that's not good because then I'll get rid of all my edge loop groups. Probably do them on a separate subtool, and then merge it later. That's a way to do it. The other option is I did have it selected like that, and I could say group visible, group by normal. Let's see. Group. No, that's not it. Yeah, probably just do a separate subtool for now. So you can say separate, split unmasked points, and that ends up in a separate thing. Then you can just sort of muck around with it. And then if I want to, now I can say order groups, and I can select these separately and do stuff with them, which is what I wanted to do. So it's gonna like muck around with it. It's probably a bit thinner than the other ones, and it kind of flares out a little bit like that. And just like build it up. And they get this cool thing, like now that I'm doing it like this, now it's got this like underhanging bits, which while you probably won't see them, it'll actually be kind of cool. I can grab these and then potentially control grab it and then pull it out, change the shape of it, rotate it. And then, yeah. So what do you think your next project is going to be, Corner? After the old He-Man. Doing Luigi. Like Luigi from Mario? Super Mario Brothers? Oh yes. Like, is that the same guy that did the oh wait, yeah, I remember now. Did he is it the same guy that did the one that's like in the new tutorial? The from start to finish, or just an artist with the same name? Yeah, so you're gonna go from start to finish. There's some really good stuff. I like this one. That was cool. Well, that's cool. It did like a Zelda or a Link technically. Hyperlink. That's cool. Yeah, that would be. I would like to do a simple one that goes through the whole pipeline. So do like go all the way through to like retopology and rig it as well. Oh, that's cool. So they did a collaboration with someone, and they did like 3D sculpts of all of their characters. That's really cool. Yeah, that's awesome. It's super handy. Looks like this thing isn't. Well, that's fun. All right, so I'm gonna have this problem. I gotta go deformation. Actually, it's in here, isn't it? It's like where's deformation mirror? It's like mirror it, and then the auto groups. Auto groups roll out. That's. Wait a second. What's going on? Is this tiger's head not symmetrical? Don't tell me. Don't tell me you're not symmetrical, Mr. Tiger. That's not it. What? How is this? This isn't right. What? Hmm. Alright, well, that's fun. Let's see, mirror. Mirror. Yeah, that's weird. It's not like... Maybe it's the LSIM thing doing this. Oh, there we go. Apparently, LSIM fudges that up. Who knew? Who would have known that? Not me. That's for sure. Probably flatten these on the bottom. It's like alt polish. That was annoying, but there you go. Whatever happens. I have to reset this thing. The computer's starting to run a bit slow. Turn that off. Turn this off. I mean, I've only got 500,000 in total, so I don't think it'd be that slow. Let's see, so that goes over there. Probably move some of these up as well. Symmetry keeps turning off as well. It's so annoying. chunky monkey. Maybe deflate this a bit. Yeah, so yeah, I will have a look at some of his stuff, see if there's anything I want to do. They do look cool though, that's for sure. It's like nice and clean, just like easy to read, which is good because stuff I've been doing lately is kind of very very hard to read in terms of it's like a painting. It's a bit like loose brush strokes and not clean lines, so it looks awesome. And then you go to do it, and then you find that it's not as easy to do because it's just like it's a more complicated than you thought, and it's ambiguous. All right, so like you have to make. It's not bad that you have to make like sort of special determinations, but it can be annoying. Oh well, there's actually, is that two of those? Or no, that's fine. Yeah, it can be slightly annoying to like figure out what it is. It's like, is that what they wanted? Is that how it goes? It's like a guess or. Yeah, I did do that one, and yeah, but I liked it. It was interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's like the chin, right, on that one was not 100% clear, but you know. Of course, you're also in one of the only ZBrush streams on here. Is this like the only ZBrush stream? I have no idea. And I've only really looked at like at her stream and on the Pixologic stream. That's called time management. Let's see, move elastic maybe. Yeah, I remember that. He was sculpting a face, I think. But he was kind of just sculpting that from like, I don't think that was a concept. It was just sort of freehanding it, and there was no. It didn't have any blockouts, so it was essentially just sort of. I guess just winging it. I don't. Every time I've tried that, I've never got good results. I'm sure you can. There's people people can do it easily, but I just doesn't work for me. Whatever reason. Yeah, now I've used this like workflow, I just can't see going back. It's like it doesn't seem as good to me. I mean, I'm sure it's not necessarily the case, but yeah, I mean, you could retopologize it and just keep pulling it out. Um, that could work. again, I don't think there's like one right way to do it, but for me, when I've tried doing that, I just like don't have any idea what's going to happen. That's what attracted me to this whole concept. Is just you can control the end result a little better, I think, or a lot better. Just in my personal opinion, anyway. Yeah, you get like, yeah, it's always good when you end up with you, you start off with wanting a human and you end up with a human, so that's always good. Just generally want to go in that direction. You will like start off trying to do a human and end up with something else. Why do I polish isn't working very well? Let's pull it up. It seems to be working now, right? I have trouble like getting it back on like the right axis. To get stuck in like limbo on the wrong way. Yeah, it's a good idea it's a good idea, Corner, to use those separate objects. I think, yeah, it's like it's a bit more practical for this sort of thing. It's like inflate a little bit. Yarp. Then I can retopologize it all together into some giant blob. So it seems like an ant behind his ear. So just keep like making more of these little blobs. It's like, yeah, it'd be like that. Go in there. Probably adjust the underlying head to fit these better, and then I'll, before I combine them all. And do maybe one more. Just be like, and that one flicks out a little bit. Just be like, zoop, zoop. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. And then I might just inflate them from the bottom so they all kind of match up. Just like polish. Grab the head, just like move that so that it matches up a bit better. Inflate that a little bit. Oops. Probably maybe the inflate's probably a bit much. It's like a little blobby. So like inflate a little bit there and a little bit there, and then smooth it out, and inflate it and smooth it till it gets like roughly what I want. Maybe just move it a little bit. Yeah, I think I need to like increase the volume on these side, I don't know what you'll call them, like sideburns, and just so that they're not perfectly, what do you want to call it, like flat on there. They just like kind of taper into the, let's see, inflate a bit here. Yeah. Same here. Not that I'm that great or anything. He's like snake hooking to poke some of these out a little bit. Like whip, whip. I kind of want to get rid of some of these the gaps underneath. Doesn't really want to play ball there. It's like, why do you do it? Why do you do this? Why can't you just flatten up? Corgi. Right, let's see. I also just used the Blender version. I did close that before, but I can open it again. Alright, let's have a look. Blender. I have to open up 2.8, which I haven't got as a default file association. Yes, this is the second thing that I did in ZBrush, and then I did some work in Blender, and then I rendered it, and I have a render as well. So let's see. All right, so this is the final render. If you're interested, Unchained Atom. This is what I ended up with. It's a Shiba, not a Corgi. Unless you were actually talking to Unchained Atom, and there was some other mysterious model I don't know about. Mm-hmm. What took so? He's so cute. Look at his tail. Look at that thing. It's a bit polygons. I ended up doing the same thing that you did for the hair on the mermaid crocodile lady. For the tail, like I've created like a noodle and then like used the curve deformation tool and then like spun it around. Then I remesh? I dynameshed it and then yeah, that's the one, the bend thing. It worked reasonably well. It's cool. Yeah, it's a cool tool. Thanks for. That's why I like watching the streams and learn stuff. Yeah, I don't know how you possibly would have done the hair without it, without taking a million years. Because I think that would have been like really tough. I turn off the body because the body is getting in the way. Yep. So this way they all ended up being like separate geometry, right? You didn't have to join them together. Yeah, I suppose so. I don't know what it is, but polish is like not working anymore. It was working before, but now it's not. I don't know. Anyway, that looks about right. Maybe that first little whisker thing's not quite right. I could probably put in some more. What I could do is like could bring this in like this, because he has this little jiggy. I don't have enough geo. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm thinking of merging it first though, before I try and like paint in some of the fur detail. I just want to make sure I get like the overall kind of look right to begin with. It looks okay. Sugar Jagger, yes you are. Maybe I'll save this for now, and then have a go at stitching it together and see if it looks okay. I'm glad I'm picking like things that are different. You know, each time I'm doing one of these, it's a different thing. Not just doing a bunch of humans. Trying some like different animals and stuff. I mean, one of the things I might run into actually with this is like the fur goes all the way up. So I'm wondering if I need to, if I just leave it like this, and I paint in the strands, or not. It definitely needs to be more concave where it joins. It probably doesn't matter that much, but it's something I want to consider. And so probably go in like this. And this is probably kind of smooth this out to be roughly in line with the fur chunks. Yeah, that could work. Alright, so if I remember correctly what you were saying before, I should merge this anyway, so maybe merge down just like in Photoshop. Like grab the cog, remesh by union. Does not fit currently set symmetry mode, turn off symmetry mode. Oh wait, yeah, okay. Turn off symmetry first. Mesh by union. Which gives you this like awful stitching, geometry. It's not too bad. It contains, okay. Actually, I might, before I completely finish this one, I am going to fix this stray poly group thing. Let's see, so remember there being a poly paint option. Poly group, there we go. So you grab poly group, set poly group. I think there's a symmetry problem. Oops. There we go. And I may want to just paint in some additional geometry, polyloop, jiggy wig. Might help. May not. Maybe just do a bit more paint like that. Alright, let's see what that does. This one has armor as well, so I have to do a little hard surface modeling. I'm not sure if that's better or worse. That's not good. I might get rid of that. Alright, that's not too bad. It's got all these like fur tufts. Still got his eyes. Yeah, maybe I should just try chopping this nose off. It's starting to get annoying. What are these? I'll have to probably fix the mesh at some point. Let's see, so it's like separate, split unmasked points, split hidden, I think. Let's go like nose. That like the only visible one. Let's see. Close holes. Let's see. It's like maybe inflate this one. A bit of a pain because if I move that, it's moving like that. That would turn the topological range down or whatever. So I can pull this out without getting. It's not really solid. Did I fix that later? So inflate and then like make the range to like 1. Messier approach. I don't know, like, I think most of it's just like when you do use particular tools for the job. I mean, because like maybe my approach just takes longer as well. This is really fiddly though, this thing that I'm doing here. I'm not even sure I'm really doing it right. I don't think there's anything wrong with Dynamesh. It's just maybe it doesn't always give the best results unless you just like ham-fistedly go for like a huge resolution, which is probably fine half the time anyway. It's like it really matters as long as it works. Just like I'm not liking this nose. It's really bugging me. It's so thin. It's got overlapping geometry and stuff, which is not good. I'm trying to thicken it out again so it's like an actual solid object. Yeah, you don't, like, depends what your goal is with your model. It's like, what do you actually want to do with it? If you're not gonna, if you're just doing it for learning, then maybe you know, depend, like if you're just trying to block something out, make it look nice, maybe you don't need to zero mesh it. But if you're trying to make something that, like, be disciplined and make it like a certain level of quality, and you want to like perfect a certain technique, then maybe it's like, then you want to do things more carefully. Alright, now I have to fix the hole in this guy, which worked way better. Okay. So what we'll probably do is grab the nose geometry here and just like play around with it. Then grab this nose. God damn it. Oop. So I really need to like fatten this out. Maybe Z-mesh this thing as well. Just and make the goal like 1. Yeah, even then that's probably a bit high. And that's like slightly better in terms of geometry. Then I'm smoothed it out a bit. Now it's being a bit of a pain. It's just like, why is this doing this? It's like inflating completely wrong. Maybe because I'm using topological, the range is too low. Yeah, that's kind of better. Let's see. Alright, I'll be back in a sec. I gotta put some wood on the fire. Yeah, I'm back. Err. Okay. So the nose is successfully being detached. That sounds funny. Oh shit, wrong tool. So it's like, I guess it kind of works. I'm just trying to figure out like a good way to like attach cleanly. We'll see. Yeah, That kind of looks okay. Should probably keep playing around with that later. As long as I keep this nose reasonably flat, I think it'll look alright. So it's, yeah, that works alright. Now when I remesh the face, it might be a little bit easier to keep it clean. That's still stitched. That's no, actually I've already remeshed that, haven't I? Trying to remember. Looks like I did because it's like lost a fair bit of detail. Still not perfect, but whatever. It'll just have to do for now. Pinchy, pinchy. Maybe put the eyes back in there. I can see what I'm doing. Let's draw these eye holes. Don't mess with my eye holes. And sometimes you have to make these brushes really small. They'll kind of muck around with the geometry a bit. You get that going nice. Probably smooth out on the other side. Doesn't need to be super detailed everywhere. And then I'll probably just pinchy again. Keep the nose detail. And then technically have enough room for these. I can probably like smooth out. I don't want P. No perspective. Turn up the intensity on the smooth a little bit, and then smooth in these just the ends of the sideburn fur stuff, just so it kind of fits a little bit. Then it can draw in a bit more. Some funky geometry, which I'll have to look at later. Show that funky geometry. And you know, there's still some weird shit going on with his lip. Let's see. Pinch everything. It's definitely like the tricky, for some reason it's just like tricky to get this to do what I want. Because it just refuses to put any detail here. It's like, what does it have against lips and cat things, cat lips? Why does it hate it? Definitely something going on there. I'm probably just doing it wrong. Still, like, there's some edge loop that I should have put in there, and I didn't. I could just add edge loops. Just be like, screw you, Blender, not Blender, ZBrush, and just like give me edge loops. Edge actions, insert edge loop. No. Bad ZBrush. This is not, it's not what I wanted. That's weird. I swear there was a way to do this. I don't know. Everything else kind of looks alright. It's just like this one thing it doesn't want to do. Just putting in those edge loops. Why you not want to? Maybe if I just use uninflate. I think it's just this band of things here. I reckon. Maybe. Apparently painting in masks takes about 1,000 years now. Because why not? Let's see. It's really screwing up that thing. That's not good. Maybe I can give that the same thing. I don't know. these all the same group, maybe? Oops. Don't do that. That's pretty better than I had before. Let's try again. Alright. This might actually be half decent now. Maybe. Might have just made it worse. Okay, that's not too bad. Do dynamic. Let's see, put his nose back on. Maybe I can see what's going on. And then give this a go. See, pinchy. It's still pretty terrible. Yeah, that's just gonna have to do. Never gonna get it. Why am I getting this stupid pinch? Oh well. Just gonna have to do. Might do to create that shape is just pull this whole thing down and inflate the side. That's kind of what it is. It's just this like big ass puffy thing. He looks kind of happy now, but that's fine, I don't care. Yeah. And then I'll probably reposition the nose a little bit. Just get that wherever it needs to be. Make it inflate it a bit. Make it slightly bigger. Yeah, it kind of works. Then I can just grab the head again and just move in the nostrils. I mean, I kind of got what I want. I'll have to chop off the beard as well. Maybe fill in some of this area, or maybe clay build up. So I've got what I kind of got, like this line here. Where it kind of, that's where the little fur bridge starts. That's alright. I'm kind of quiet as well. I'm just like focusing on trying to make this work. I like retopologized some of this stuff a bit too much and kind of shrunk it. That's alright. Well, at least you're finally free of the Adobe curse. You don't have to worry too much about it anymore. Like, you know, indentured servitude to the subscription model. It's getting there. Definitely getting there. Never, I mean, never like the only other, you know, draw the rest of the fucking owl kind of thing going on. You're just like 10% of the way there. Nice work. It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of what I want. So these like edge loops definitely coming in really hard. If there's one thing I learned from this sculpt is that I gotta like make sure I've actually got the model working properly before I do like all these details, because I'm like drawing them in like 10 times. To get a little practice. What's going on there? It's a bit of a wrinkle. Pull in this, get his upper eyelid bulge going, lower eyelid bulge. This guy's like a couple of eye rings because he's just so angry. It's like, I'm just so angry. Hate everything. Probably doesn't need that many lines there. almost as if the topology is like balked again. I don't know. This is where like all the tricky stuff happens, I think. No, it looks about right. So we can probably do some details. I think one of the problems is I haven't really defined what's happening with the mouth. To be honest, I've been avoiding it. So I probably should do. Yeah, no, it's like it's coming along definitely. What I might do is just chop off this bit, because I think it's got to come off. Maybe I should have kept it separate from the beginning. I got to actually duplicate this as well, so I don't actually lose the original detail. So you can be the head without the beard. No, the beard without the head? Guess so. Oops. Let's see, and then we want delete hidden. Grab this one, hide the other one. Then we cut you off. Yeah, that's probably not good. Just leave some geometry on there. Ew, that's gotta be careful of that. Yeah, that'll do. Smooth. Let's see what we got there. That doesn't strictly need to be a separate piece of tree, so I gotta somehow in-paint that other one. I know, I've done this before. I might just sculpt it out first. So he has a very little chin. really have like a huge chin or anything like that. Let's see. It's so weird how you like tap and then hold shift down to do this non-symmetrical operation. Oh, okay. Well, that's fun. Mirror and World. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, this is frustrating. You can't actually select a polygon. It won't let you. That's fun. Turn off dynamic. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that was what was throwing me off. Apparently aiming for the center of the polygons helps as well. That's helpful. So edges, edge actions, do nothing. Oh, that's handy. Thank you. Yeah, that's pretty handy. But honestly, I blame ZBrush's like bizarre concepts when it comes to modeling. Like, it's like, what you can do is shed 3 different things you can do at once, depending on where you click. I mean, like, why wouldn't you want that, right? You would just, because that's the best. Alright, so like Z remeshing for like the millionth time. Maybe I'll just like try and make this an actual mouth. You know, I could probably do that actually. Let's do what I did with the, do what Shane told me to do with Shiver, and just like rip his mouth open and put some geometry in there. I'm going to have to do this render thing, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. Oh yeah. I haven't tried to do any lighting in Blender. from what I've seen people talking about, it's like not fun. Not in Blender, in ZBrush, sorry. Let's have a look. That's awesome. Do you want me to show it on the stream to the one other viewer? That looks great. I think I think you nailed the lighting in the end. Yeah. So this is what Corner came up with. Look at that. It's He-Man. And you have to deal with it because he's He-Man. You mean like the field of view? Because yeah, they'll give you a different like amount of perspective, which will look very different depending on how close the camera is. Well, yeah, that's one thing you can do. Just like the only way to win is not to play the game. Just like no perspective at all. And that works sometimes. Yeah, when you do this thing with the mouth, it like looks like you're torturing the mesh horribly. But it's like it's the only way they'll learn is to just horribly just poke a hole in its face to make it work. Which is useful because what ends up happening is then you get more geometry, you can overlap the mouth so you get an actual crease. Like it's not a crease, it's like actually hollow. So then it gives you better look. I always forget to do it though. And by always I mean the second time I've made a model like this. You can get away with it on people without doing this because they don't have, like, you can kind of just like imply the geometry. Alright, thank you, and you have a good night too. Thanks for the tips and hanging around. I'll see you next time, or around on the forums or somewhere on Discord. Okay, so now I've done torturing the poor mesh. Maybe I'll just like put this little bit in here. I will keep it up if I can. Probably finish my stream soonish anyway. I've been gone for like 2.5 hours. It's time to take the wind out of my sails. Alright, so I can Z-mesh this as well. I re-Z-mesh this thing. Just save the tool for now, so I don't lose any decent work. Those see what happens. Oh, not too bad. Not the worst. Didn't get as much geometry in the mouth area that I wanted. But I can work with that because I'm folding it over anyway, so it's not like the worst thing ever. Probably should have stretched it more, then I would have probably made a bigger cavity. So pinch it in here, which is where the where all the stuff, where all the action's happening. And then I can just, let's see, I can like mask lasso, let's see, like this bit here, and sort of then do this. Barely see like the mask itself. Oh, come on, what are you doing? Alright, that's not working. It's kind of working. Let's see. Now I can kind of just, I guess, smooth this out a little bit. Pull down this top lip bit. Probably inflate this part here as well, so that it goes down. I don't have to worry about actually sculpting in that shape because it's kind of built in now. Then I can grab some of this upper lip bit, kind of grab the lower one, move it in, just shrink it to a topological set so that it will generally play nice with the shape so that I can actually get these overlapping things working. Looks a bit like a tortured soul at the moment. Stuff always looks bad until it looks good, which is just how it is, unfortunately. It's like working on the top and bottom. Maybe change the range, topological range a bit, so that when I pull this out, it won't necessarily pull both things around at the same time. Yeah, and then I still got to like pinch these in, so I actually get a mouth, and then smooth it a bit so that it's not totally bonkers looking. It's definitely hard to get this stuff right, you know, and then you can maybe inflate without any kind of topological stuff, so that when you inflate it, it'll close these things together. And then you can, again, smooth it a bit. And then if I want to create this crease here for the lips, or rather this, like, whatever this fold is that like exists above the lips, I can just try and pull it in. Maybe use a pinch just down here. Yeah, finally, now that I've changed the geometry a bit, like, I can actually do this. Before it was just refusing, like, it was absolutely refusing to allow that to exist. And I could probably get away with having some kind of poly paint in there to get exactly what I want. And the silhouette is not super great, but I can work on that. I've got, like, now I have the actual stuff I need to get the effect I want. I could have the corners, and he'll have his little beard, which will help with some of this. Yeah, so there we go. So it's like 10th times a charm, basically. So now I have a lot of the geometry that I wanted to have. The nose is separate. The topology on the head's a bit better. I've separated the head from the body so that it can kind of work how I wanted it to. There's some things that I've changed that I need to fix, like the nose isn't really right anymore. Like, because it's a cat nose, like, it should probably be kind of flat in the front, which I can fix. And I'll probably, like, make the nostril a bit more pronounced. And then some of it kind of goes into this gap, but not a huge amount. It's kind of flat on the front. And then the nostril itself kind of pulls in as well. It pulls into the side there. That's more of a cat nose, I guess. I can put dynamic on that and make it nice and smooth, which kind of reveals a lot of flaws. So I almost regret that, but whatever. So yeah, I got a lot of this. It's working alright. Get back to the face, maybe try and fix some stuff up. One of the things I've done here is I've kind of balked the volume in the chin a bit. It's like there's no chin now. So what I should probably do is just maybe paint some of that in, maybe using clay buildup or something, so I can just get some volume back. Actually, I can make this brush a bit smaller so I can do it without kind of screwing it up too much. Other things I can do is I can paint in some more edges. Like I use the pinch tool a little bit to accentuate that. Smooth this out a bit. Not really happy with the profile anymore. It feels like it's a bit wrong. If we can just get this camera to play nice. So right now it's like, it probably should, from what I can tell is the way cats' chins work. So they really taper, like like that maybe. And then, because this guy's fairly stylized, probably, you know, I don't know, like, I keep getting this kind of void in here, which I don't like. Maybe I'll just fill it. Yeah, there we go. A little warble there, or whatever you want to call it. But I'm kind of re-topoing this, so I'm going to try and avoid doing that, if at all possible. That looks a bit better. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Just give it a bit more definition by pinching it. So I can just go like this and go like, there we go. So now he's got a bit more of a defined thing going on. Let me just try smoothing out some of this so when I redo it, yeah, it looks better. The eyes are definitely giving me a lot of trouble. That's alright. Yeah, let's just use like pinch tool again. I'm definitely getting like a little bit of trouble around this area because the topology is not perfect. It doesn't have to be, just how it is, I guess. And I think the eyes will be doing a little bit better now. It's weird. Let's see, higher intensity maybe. Maybe it's just maybe the brush is too small. So it's no longer affecting the geometry. This is not working very well at all. Something's going on with the eye. It's got like, yeah, it's got all these horrible edge loops in it. Eek. Not sure how to fix that. That's no good. Maybe I missed something. Maybe there's like, seems okay. I just be a bit more manual with this. Oh, I'm gonna do it okay. I got the general stuff that I want to have. I'm definitely having some issues over the edge loops and the eyes are all kind of messed up, which I have like a huge amount of trouble fixing for some reason. I don't know why it's doing this, but it's like every time I Z-remesh the eyes, it's not playing nice. It's all lumpy. Don't like the lumpiness. I have to just smooth this out to try and like re-topologize it decently. I didn't want to do that, but like looks like I don't really have much of a choice if I want to actually have decent eyes. Which means that I'm going to lose some of my detail again, which is super annoying. Alright, well, I save it again. This is where my lack of experience really comes in, just like knowing when to change and fix certain things. Because you get like these problems. You just have like, oh, look at this shape, it's like no good. So maybe if I try it now, try a few different options perhaps and see if I can get these edge loops to play nice. So let's just detect edges, auto detect hard edges. Maybe maybe what I can do is this sounds kind of dumb. No, wait, I'm not gonna dynamesh it because that'll just ruin my work on the mouth. I'll just keep fudging around with ZBrush until I get like a result that I want. Okay, that seems to have... No, that's still not great. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's preserved like most of the detail the way I wanted it. It's not too bad, I guess. Well, the real test is if I try and sculpt anything, and it just looks terrible. So if I try to do the eyes, the pinch brush. Yeah, see, look at that. It's just awful. Maybe just try a bigger brush. I guess that's not so bad. It's just not working. I'm gonna just increase the resolution. If this doesn't work, I don't know what will. Still not great. I don't know what it is. What is that? What is that bullshit? Fuck it. That just looks awful. just like dynamic and apply it. Like, yeah, why not? Why the hell not? That's what I have to do for now. I'm just getting stuck. Yeah, and then we got like all this stuff here. It's like, hey, you like snake hook and like stretch it out a little bit and wisp it. And then do stuff like probably cloth. Can start painting out individual fur lines. Try and get that detail. Hopefully not make it just look like a mess. Should go with pinch, I suppose. I think it's like pinch. Yeah, there you go. There's like a line. You go in the middle. Another line. Middle again. So you can see you can get this like fur kind of thing going on. I'm not too experienced with this stuff, so I'd be surprised if I muck it up. Pinch everything, yeah. Pinch is love, pinch is life. Makes everything better. Yeah, so welcome back, Gyro. Having a merry old time with this mesh. Just like re-topologizing the crap out of it until it does what I want. Which is starting to get real old. But I think I finally got it like close to where I want. So hopefully I won't have to do that too much more. Just kind of get to that point where I can start working on maybe the armor and stuff after I got this face working. But we'll see, because I'm sure I'll find something wrong with it and have to fix it again. But you know, that's just how it is. How's your day going, or night, or whatever? Stay here. Probably make his mouth a little bit smaller down the front. This is working overall. Let's see, evil. Evil. The kind of problem is like starting to look a bit like a bear rather than a cat. So I have to fix that a bit. Like these jowls go out a bit further, a bit flatter. Definitely got the nose slightly wrong. Like the way the nose works, it should be flatter and come out more. Do the same thing with the that's more cat-like, I guess. And even just like the whole face, this whole thing is bigger. It's puffy, it's a bit puffy. But on the side, on profile, it should probably, I'm not sure how it should come out on profile. That looks alright, but definitely something going on there. What's that? The harder the choices I find. Yeah, that's true. What does a cat look like on profile? It's probably also like a cat's face is not, probably a bit more flat in that sense. Maybe like a slightly more triangular face. Like the whole mouth might even not be as long, and then like just go up more. Yeah, this is where it might actually be useful to look at some reference material. Let's see, side on. What do you look like? Ah, yes, this is why. This is why it doesn't look right, because I've got the mouth shape is like completely wrong. So from the front, it looks like that. But the actual turn of the mouth is different. So it's actually like this. This isn't 100% right yet, but it's like this. It's more like what I've got here now. There's still more mouth cavity. But yeah, it's like, and the chin comes out more than that. I use fill. It's a little better. Yeah, like I don't know. I just like I don't think I often look at tags from the side. It's like obvious if you look at the actual tag, you're like, oh yeah, actually that's what it actually looks like. Which feels kind of weird, but there you go. It's just like, hey, that's how it actually is. Let's see. So it kind of goes like it's like down. It's flat on the front. Then this curls up. Smooth that out. Yeah, I guess cats just look kind of unhappy. This is how they look. Topology there's all kind of messed up too, which is annoying. So maybe retopologize it again, please. And then maybe move this in. Then I can probably use pinch as well to like kind of draw in, because what happens, I think it goes like kind of like that and then up a bit. Something. It's hard to see based on these references I've got. Yeah, they do. And it kind of comes up, so when you see this thing around the side, that's actually their mouth. And that's how the mouth curls up. And you can kind of see like that, which is good. So like I don't want to make him smile exactly, but that's kind of what it is. So I have this whole mouth thing that I've made, and now it's kind of meh now. Well, you learn, I guess. Never made a cat before, so what would I know? And I can just sort of, yeah, I can detail that out a little bit. And that comes together, and then I do a little bit on the other side, and then do a little bit in the middle. And you get that kind of effect. And smooth it out a little bit. Definitely has some problems there. So the way I've done that, I've actually reshaped the way the mouth works. Yeah, actually pain to fix, I think, because like to fix that geometry there, which is all lumpy, which I'm getting a lot, is a bit annoying, because inside the mouth there's actually, turn the range down. Alright, that's fine. Definitely gotta work on it. It's not quite right. Yeah, there you go. it's not easy really. I feel like cat mouths feel harder than dog mouths. I don't know. From what I've experienced so far, they seem different. And you'd probably want to exaggerate it as well, you know, if it's like this thing is a bit more exaggerated than what you would expect in nature. So when you see that shape, I mean that shape makes more sense now. Good old tiger, yeah. He's a bit of a bastard, really. Yeah, so there's like a bunch of warbles now. Oh. It's getting there. Slowly improving. I think there's some silhouette issues as well. If we look at the angle he's supposed to be looking from, probably flatten the head more. Smooth this out. Yeah, I think you're right. That makes a lot of sense. This one's definitely been challenging. It's this like little connection to his mane, whatever you want to call it. Tigers have that like a thing that goes around. It's like a crown. I mean, I'm gonna. This seems to look wrong. So definitely like can bring this little chin thing up. And then in, gives it kind of a more pronounced effect. It's kind of what I remember seeing in, what do you call it? Lion King, I think. It's like, Scar had one of those sort of mouths. He had this like really pointy goatee style thing going on. Yeah, I just sort of like looked at it and I'm like, this isn't right. What's going on here? Part of it as well is like, I think this can be taken in a little bit. Yeah, that's a bit better. 'Cause they have a fairly bridged nose. Like there's like a triangle. I think theirs have like a they're like, kind of not like a dog, they're not like a cat. They're a bit their own thing. You can also like chisel in some more details using. I think it was like this kind of. I don't know if that makes sense. Thank you. I think words of encouragement, very helpful. And I do have this little goatee thing that I haven't put in. I'll like change it a bit. You can even see like the shape it had. Really appropriate for his head. So now it's like a bit more clear. It's just going to hang off the bottom of his head. I'll probably Z-remesh this thing down to, let's give it 2000. Probably go do it lower than actually. And then like work its way up a bit more. It's like that. And like smooth it a lot to get it to attach properly. Chapological. Like sits on the bottom. Around the sides a little bit. And then just make it taper. Like move it out a little bit. So then it would, it's kind of like a heart shape almost. Wisps out a little bit. So go like that. I still don't like it. I think I'm missing something. Yeah, close. No, I've been fixing it because he looked more like a bear, and I was like, this isn't right. So I've just been mucking around with it. I changed the structure and the nose a little bit as well. You know, just that sort of thing. Yeah, it's that's just when I don't have the polygroups showing. Any idea how you're going to do about this mane? Well, I mean, I originally did it as a bunch of shapes that I attached, and then I retopologized it to combine them all together. So that's kind of how I'm doing it, and it's just going to be painted on, like. So when I do the paint, so I'll show you what I mean. Like, it's probably high res enough now. If I change the material to skin shade, fillet, turn off this, then I can grab like one of these colors and then fill it in, grab the nose, make that darker, and then you can use this brush to like brush in the whites. So get like the let's get over there. And I'm going to put more detail in those, so it'll like paint in so that it looks like it's made out of multiple strands. When I go to a higher detail mesh. But not like right away. Probably grab this thing as well. Just like fill that with that one. So this will probably be all white here and just around the mouth area. And then we can do some other stuff as well, like put some more detail in, grab some of his stripes. Those are probably need to be like higher polygon count before I can put those in properly. You can kind of see. Yeah, you can just use the vertex painting. And by the looks of it, he has like some more like detail around the side of the nose, and then on top of the head, it's got some, because the tigers have those stripes that go on the top of the head, and then got some in the ears as well. So that probably helps, like the paint I reckon helps. And then he probably has, tiger stripes on that go all the way around the back. So you just like kind of paint these in. You can feather them out a little bit. This is kind of temporary. I'll do some better ones later. But you get the idea. You can do the same thing with the eyes as well. So you grab the eyes and then just like apply the dynamic subdivisions, and then the eye color is pretty much the same as all the other colors in it. So you probably just do like, he's got like kind of like something going on. I'm not sure exactly how it should look. It's probably just an elongated pupil. It'd be hard to get it right, like, because you want to just like put it directly in front. It can look bad. I mean, he also has like dark area around the eyes too, but that could be like an actual eyelash. So like I could model that as an actual eyelash, rather than rather than just dark paint around the eyes. But yeah, that's like how you'd go about it, most likely. Does look quite evil because he doesn't have that like expression of pure disgust, but there you go. But since this is all low resolution, I'll have to do it over, so I'll probably just clear it for now. And just go back to the modeling paint until I can figure out what he's gonna exactly look like. But yeah. Yeah, in terms of this fur on the side, this is really hard to get exactly right. Yeah, I think you're right there. Doing that definitely gives me a clue as to what this is going to look like. And part of what makes this hard as well is just like there's so many things going on in these pictures. Little tufts of hair, little freckles, and people know what tigers look like, so you got to try and keep in mind that if you don't do it right, it's going to be pretty obvious that it's like it's deviating from some standard features that people expect, and you just got to like probably gonna have to fix that. Otherwise, people are gonna be like, "That looks weird. What's going on?" And that's fine because that's what you expect, right? Like, you can't just get away with doing a half-assed tiger man. Gotta do it right. It's like these like tufts of fur. They're so easy to get wrong because they got like this little kind of way that they look. You can use the snake hook and kind of like pull things out. You just have to be careful you don't stretch it too much because then it'll look bad. And then they kind of overlap as well, so you gotta keep that in mind. And if you pull them too much, you might make them a bit lumpy, like I've done. Then you gotta like carefully readjust. You can use Move Elastic to do that, which kind of keeps the overall shape intact. So like with this one, you could like snake hook it at the end to pull it out and elongate it. Probably make that a bit smaller so that when you do it, it just pulls out the end. And then you can use elastic to try and keep the overall form however you want while moving it at the same time. Let's move it up a bit. And then you look at it from another angle and it looks terrible, so you gotta like go back and fix it again. I think one of the problems I probably created with this is that like it's too loose on the like there's like these, it's too thin on this front side, and the back side's not too bad. It's all like kind of merged together, But on the other side, it's not so much. So I don't know, I have to fix that somehow. Definitely not, it's not super easy, I think, to get this exactly right, or exactly how I want it anyway. It's like pinch, that's too much pinch. That's funny, I might actually end up inflating that. Get some volume back. Hi Rosenbaum. This has never too much pinch. It's the pinch until you can't pinch no more. And then pinch even more after that. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I'm definitely having trouble with this. Trying to get this to look good. I think part of it is to try and take some of these strands and get them to properly merge in with the face. Because right now they kind of look like separate details. So when I do this, I should probably start from further up, so that when it comes down, it comes out of the face. And like, I can do multiple ones, so be careful that I still, yeah, they shouldn't crisscross too much, because then that'll look bad. So we can see, like in the concept art, like he has this stuff coming out, so it's like this, and it goes all the way down here. Kind of from the cheek. There's definitely a gap here between where the eye is and the mouth. I can't quite bridge it properly. So I think maybe, yeah, maybe he has like a slightly bigger jowl thing, which apparently leaves a horrible mark if you try and move it too fast. He's so angry. He's an angry tiger man. Like, why did you make me? Why did you have to make me look so ugly? So fudge around with the topology a bit. There. So right now his eyes are fairly shallow. We kind of want them to be a bit more sunken in, just like your standard predator. Like around the other side, we actually have this thing, like there's this dip that like most predators have, which so they can see behind them a bit. So you can see from this angle, like you can see behind it. I know what you're saying, but I don't think that's true. I think that some of the topology changes would have been way easier. And then I think other things would have been just like painful, especially if you ended up with a lot of polygons. See, now I've got that there, but that doesn't look quite right. I normally don't have as much trouble. I think it's just this particular character is definitely having, it's definitely harder, at least for me. It's getting to that, like, so my teacher calls it the valley of suck, where basically you're at this point where it feels like everything you do just looks terrible and you have to work your way out of it. Yeah, so ZBrush has like its own kind of, it has its uses and it has its drawbacks. Like it was originally like a 2D painting program, so it definitely has like a number of weird oddities to do with the way it works. And Maya has this like long illustrious history of being used in movies, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, but at the same time, Maya's like very crashy. Has a lot of bugs that have been in it for many years that they've kind of neglected fixing as well. So I don't know, like it's not really sculpting program. So the reason I'm using a sculpting program is because you can sculpt out the 3D forms. I'm doing a bunch of stuff I've done before in this sculpt, so if it comes out kind of shitty, that's probably why. And it's a fine line between looking cool and looking crap, and I'm definitely dancing along that line. Trying to get around it, but it's definitely kicking my ass a bit, this model. Like definitely harder than I thought. Like, I had the whole body done in one session, and that wasn't too bad. He's like the giant muscly body. But these yeah, this hair stuff here is like, it's all looks alright from the top, looks kind of bad from the front. Part of that's like just, it's lumpy. It's not like properly, I haven't properly done some of it. I'm sure I'll get better at it. That's just one of those things. It's like plasticine almost, this stuff. It's really easy to get wrong. So I'm like super surprised if I muck it up a bit. Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. Definitely something I should have done for the fur. There's probably like some tricks that make it easier. But no, I didn't really look at any tutorials. Like I've done a whole bunch of tutorials, and I'm you know, doing this class, and that's working out great. But yeah, this is definitely something that I didn't anticipate it being as hard as I thought it would be. And that's just my fault. Like I should probably approach it a bit more differently. But it's like I can't expect to get like perfect results straight away anyway. Which is fine. You know, if I keep working on it, I'll probably come up with something that looks okay. Like even then, like now it's starting to look a little bit better. Yeah, so either way I'm gonna be alright. Like I'll get something out of it. I'll either do it myself and learn things. Or I will, you know, check out some tutorials and also learn things. So win-win. It's a good attitude to have, I guess. It's kind of like a dopey smile on him. It's kind of funny. Because he's supposed to be a serious kitty. Yeah, so I mean, and this like this is a similar deal with the beard. Like the idea is to try to get some cool looking geometry. Probably Z intensity is probably a bit high. Yeah, I might leave that for a little while until I can figure out a better way of doing that sort of thing. It's definitely something to do with the skull that's not right. I mean, yeah, I think that's throwing me off. Is that like tigers actually have like a ridiculously flat head? I don't know why, but that's just how it is. And I'm not really doing that right. This is a problem I had during blockout, I think. Their ears are kind of small as well. And their nose doesn't stick out anywhere near as far as I've got here. And their eyes are further back. I think maybe that's one of my problems, is the eyes actually supposed to be a fair bit further back. Yeah, so where I've got the eye is not great. And this whole mouth thing goes different shape. It's like further across and further down. eyes might even be bigger. Might make you bigger, Mr. Eye. Should be more sunken in. And we take the face and we just do some more. So like smooth this out so I can kind of redo it. That's probably a bit better. His eyes are further back. Should know these would be harder. That looks a little better. There we go. I think that's looking a lot better. Just like moving the eyes. Hair's still kind of fucked, but not that worried. I will learn. I will figure it out. Just flatten these out a bit. Yeah, because they're kind of squarish. That's kind of what you expect with the tech. So what I'll probably do is like I'll bring down the skull. Not quite too much, but then bring up the middle of the skull. Not that much. Because we've got like a kind of a crown. Like that. Yeah, that's better. Still not liking the profile. I think part of it is the way the skull is on the back. The ears should actually be further back, strangely enough. They're actually all the way up the back of the head. order to make this make sense, I'm gonna have to bring up smooth like crazy. That's helped a lot, I think. Yeah, definitely more cat-like. And I reckon to make these make sense, just have to inflate this underneath, so they don't just sort of come out of nowhere. Maybe if I smooth this out. Yeah, I think that's it. Just like bring out this, the center of the folds is like too far in for these ones. You need to like bring them out. And just make them a bit smoother. Anyway, I can keep working on this. I could probably keep working on this forever and still not be happy. Well, at least it looks more like a tiger now. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it quits for today. I've been for like 3.5 hours. But made some progress. Alright, so thanks for watching, guys. And I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow or not. I've still got to decide, but yeah, next step I think is just finishing the face, painting it, and then just starting work on the body. Yeah, thanks, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.